Alright, I'll mute this. Not versus training mode. Do I still have filia team? Which one do I want? I think I want the other one. Yeah, that'll be better. Actually, I'll pick his team. What colors would I play on this? So he has this one, and he has. I would play. This one because I like this one a lot, and I will shut the stream down over here. Where's my team? I'll just wait for a bit until he shows up. Alright, so my thoughts on Bale versus Filia, I'll give in this way. This actually round slot range is actually a really good indicator of what do you call it? Like a really good indicator of what the good range is for Beowulf against Filia, which I think it's this one. Like, my elbow is really itchy. I gotta itch this because I want to. There we go. It's it. Also, let me pop out chat so I can see chat on my screen and move this over this way. And move chat over here so now I can see chat, which is cool. And post this here. Hey, Mikam. Shoutouts to being a direct relief charity dude, I guess. Okay, but this isn't any gameplay. I'm just going over some training mode stuff. But what I was gonna say was, like this range is really. Actually, I should put on hitboxes as well, and put on slow motion as well. So this range is really good because this becomes an option. Actually, that was like a poor example. Let me show like a. I can totally just pause that. There we go. That's that's perfect. So this range is, I think, really good for Beowulf because Filia can't. Once jumping heavy punches out, Filia can't really do anything. So this range, like, this is a little bit outside of it because Filia can backdash it. I think not now. Let me just see one frame. Yes. Oh, okay. She can still backdash it. That's actually really good. I didn't realize that would be a thing. But then Filia can still backdash it, right? So always gotta be aware of like this range because neutral jumping heavy punch is always a threat. So what the Filia can do to counter it is I'll show you in like this timing what you can be doing. So you can do like one of these. If I'm good at it, I can show it to you. It's supposed to one clean. It's one clean a few times. So like that. So and you can full combo off it. Like the hitbox was out, but it still beat it because Filia standing heavy punch can anti-air it really well. Trade is better than nothing sometimes, yeah, but you wanna time it so that it full combos. God damn it. Like, jeez. And then you can do mix-ups off that, which is really good. Because you get like 4.4k damage with like really low and dizzy, and then the next two mix-ups can probably kill, or even like next one mix-up if you have like enough meter for it or whatever. Oh, is my life bar not proper? Where's my life bars? Oh, here, health. I should be 100%. So that's like the basic. That's one counter jumping heavy punch at this range. You can air to air it if you want. So what I would do to air it, Uh, are you kidding me? You can do something like that. That'll air to air it. Jump light punch is more of a hard read tool, suggests to hit before the chair comes out. Yes, that is true. However, it also option selects, not option selects. It also deals with the situation with whatever. What if Beowulf wanted to neutral jump and do nothing, which happens a lot when I wanna jump over the assist over here. And if I would want to do a jumping heavy punch in that situation, then he can stuff it with jumping light punch and bring me down before I do anything. That's a situation that has happened a few times that we played in, and using that option sometimes is, I think, a good idea. You use air throw there, which I think is fine, but air throw I can basically react to it, because in that situation I'm ready for it. If you bring me down with jumping light punch, there's a bunch of mix-ups you can do off it, depending on making me block it, and if it ends up hitting somehow because I was trying to take a throw or something, then you also get benefit from that. I think it's worth going for jumping light punch in that scenario. Jumping light punch otherwise, yes, it's a bit of a read. Like as you're seeing it here, like I'm hitting him before the move comes out, right? Because otherwise it's not gonna work. And you can do stuff like that, I don't know. Really sucks. So you can do stuff like that, right? Another concept you can do is this is not gonna be very good with this move. Hey, it's not gonna be very good with this move. Normally with like moves like double jumping a bunch, you can cross under it and anti-air it, or like hit it with a low on the other side. It's not that good against this move because the hitbox is pretty much all over the place. But in other matchups, you will be using that a lot. Right? And filia can also just back out of it and call an assist. I'm not doing a very good job of it. Like that would be some way to do it, like that. So now, let me show you. So let's say I'm doing that, right? And do one of these. Like, I'm not doing a very good job of showing it. But like that, like the tier is there now, and now I have to be aware of it, and now it's your turn to do something. So like forcing that interaction would also be really good. The way I did it was I had backdash with down back, medium punch, heavy punch, but I also had medium heavy kick at the same time. So I did a backdash and my assist came out as well. So you can use that concept to back out of the range of it and then call your assist right away. And once you've made me block the assist, now I have to deal with the mix-up because, especially if you do like a dash block right afterwards. I'm not very good at doing this. I can't believe that worked. I am messing that up heavily. I can't believe that actually worked. Like that is a great example. Like that is the best thing you can get happening in that situation, is that your assist is coming. Now I have to block the tier. I can't really do anything about it. And you block jumping heavy punch. And in that situation, you don't even need to push block. So you can just deal with it. You can even jump, like if you are super executionally aware of the scenario, you can, not that. Like that. Like that. That was the best thing you could have done there, because now you chicken blocked the jumping heavy punch. Block stun, so now you don't have to deal with any block stun, plus a tier is coming. Like that. Like that was a great scenario. I'm not very good at showing this right now. Like that would be something that I would do. I didn't execute it properly, but that's something, that's a training drill you can set up in training mode. Is me as hosting me. You don't need to host me, this is not very professional, but thanks I guess. This is like super off the cuff. That looks good in theory. I think the thing is that it will come up more often than you than not, so you should be aware of that. One thing you should be, what was I gonna say? One thing that, like, the one point you really have to think in this matchup, in my opinion, is when you're gonna practice that for sure. Hell yeah, brother. One thing you have to be calling out as filia is when Beowulf will do the jumping heavy punch, because this is just one example, right? Like that. That was the perfect counter. Like, that was, if you want to clip that and like just keep it, that was the perfect counter you could have done in that scenario, because the tier was there. I canceled the blocks in entirely, and I got in time to get my low out. Plus, I don't really have like any defensive assist because I'm running A train, so it's not like I can do anything solid with that anyway. I can go over more complications with so these are the two counters, right? The one was the get into range of it and just anti-air it, right? And that was actually really good. Like that. Even the hitbox came out. That was a perfect anti-air for that. So the one anti-air you can do in that scenario is call it out like that, or call it out like backing out and calling your assist behind it, or whatever. Those are the two ways that I would focus on dealing with it. Of course, the air-to-air stuff is also really good sometimes. But the air-to-air is like a third option that happens sometimes, as opposed to the dash planning heavy punch stuff. You can also just use uppercut in that example, and you can almost like hit confirm that, because you can like see the jumping heavy punch come out, and if you're really really good, you can like react to it and then do the uppercut. One way I could practice that, one way I would recommend practicing that is set it to training mode, where you do one dummy recording as the neutral jump and doing jumping heavy punch, and the second recording would be neutral jump into doing nothing. And if you see the heavy punch come out, you can input the uppercut. You can also buffer it by doing a dash into uppercut, like dash into like a DP motion, and then if you see the DP come out or the button come out, you can just hit the button, and it'll be a ton easier to react to it that way. That is another thing I think you can be doing a lot. React with uppercut like that. But this is just one example of like one jump arc and not even including assist, right? Which is surprisingly common in this matchup, because a lot of the time if I'm using Big Band to take the shot for me, then he won't be available for the next like 4 seconds-ish, because he gets locked out, because it counts as hitting the assist even though if it gets armored or whatever. But if you think about at that range, let's say I'm like really tired of you just backing away, right? That was terrible. Like, you just backing away from that and calling your sister in it. So next time I read that in this scenario, that you will do the back dash. So I'll do the dashing jumping heavy punch, right? And I think that was an okay one. Oh, that was not a dashing jumping heavy punch. That was a really good one, right? And that in that situation is really ambiguous as to what it's gonna be, right? But the thing is, like, one, you can now cross under anti-air it a lot easily. You can do it. I swear to God, like that. Like, that would be a thing that you could do against it. I think this will also work. Oh, what's the rest of us there? Gotta get going. Okay, I'll just put this on YouTube then. Plus, like, I want to put the concept up online at some point anyway, because I think this matchup is really interesting. That's not a jump A, don't lie to me. That's not a jump A, that's a jump C, Ed. A jump A would be this. I can show you the jump A really, really slowly. It is actually really, really good, unlike a bunch of melty jump A's. Yeah, look at that. What a jump A, my brothers. As the Beowulf one is definitely a jump C. Yeah, it's pretty good. Hey, there you go. That actually worked. Oh, that's not, you can't confirm off it, I guess. Alright, let's see if you can. Oh, that works. So you can do that. That actually is really funny. I didn't know that worked. And you can actually full combo off that for no meter. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull this off. That might be too far. Come on now. Hey, you can do that. That works. That is actually pretty cool. You can full confirm off it for no bar because the drill works out like that. So that's one thing that becomes easier if you're reading a jumping forward heavy punch. You can just dash under it really easily. The standing heavy punch end here becomes literally just hitting the button. Air throw becomes a lot easier as well, but again, air throw and air to airing, that button is kind of hard because it's really active. But it is kind of slow, so like ground to airing is probably your best bet in that scenario. Like a trade is fine. How much damage is that? You do 1500, he does 1163. Oh, that's fine. You win the damage wise. What's the frame data say on that? Of course, when you want it to fucking trade, it doesn't. God damn it. When you trade, it's +3, so it's not too bad. Could be worse. So that's basically jumping heavy punch, jumping forward like that. That's one thing that I will do a lot of the time. And if you're reading it in that scenario, then you can just anti-air it like a normal character, like a normal jump in. I swear to God, you can like not trade. Now I wanted to not trade and it keeps trading. What the fuck? Like that. The normal was out and I still beat it. So, like that exists. Super jumping makes it a little bit more tricky, but it's mainly just timing. It's not really anything different. Jumping back is also a different thing. It's just that like it loses like that. Like that. It's not actually gonna hit, but if I read like a jumping, like an aggression at me, I'll do this one. That is the one that I'll do the most commonly, and because it's like super hard to challenge like that, because you need to get in range of it, range of the body to hit it. Like you need to do it super duper early. Like you need to do it super duper early, otherwise it's not gonna work out. But then using the assist to call out the landing is an option that opens up. Because then you can do etc, etc, etc. So that's the like mix up in neutral that you have to play with this. How do you make this combo work? Oh yeah, I remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter that much. So that's like the basics of the jumping heavy punch mix up. The things that make it complicated are the assist. Like that, like I'll do that a bunch, right? And it makes it harder to challenge him directly, plus it eats up the assist like that. But one thing you can just do is wait it out, and you have one of the better assists to do that with, because that combo, that was not good. The assist is still there, that's kind of whack. What can you do here, actually? Let me think. Yeah, I get it now. Cool. Because... God damn it. Because that can happen. That's the thing I was trying to make happen. That is somewhat tricky because then the Beowulf is actually landed, and if I don't have any hype, if I do have any hype, then that anti-air heavenly will be a ton of damage. And even if I don't have meter, if I don't have hype, then depending on the thing you do, actually let me try to see this. Like, this is totally gonna get armed, right? God damn it. Like, you can do stuff like that, and then you can retreat, and there's a tier on me, and now you dictate my movement. The thing about the tiers is that it either forces me to go over them, which at that range means you can get into the right outside jumping heavy punch range, and you can call your assist again, because you can just do that, which is stupid. Or if I'm gonna back away, then you have full license to just, you know, wave dash at me, keep moving towards me. There's a bunch of stuff that happens with that. I think the neutral in this matchup isn't insanely complicated, and to be honest, it isn't insanely complicated for a lot of characters. It's just that nobody has really thought of it in like a deep way, and I just pretty much forwarded out wins from people not actually thinking about how to actually play neutral in this matchup, which I think is actually pretty interesting and really fun. So I don't have much else to say in this specifically. I think Parasol kind of does a similar deal. I did the Dragon Ball tag. This is not very good. Let me see what Parasol does here. Okay. What Parasol can do, she can do stuff like that. It's not very good because she's gonna get punched in the face if she does that, which is not very nice. She can do stuff like that, like catching a heavy punch and then make him block it or whatever. There's stuff with that. It actually, you see, he can do stuff like that, I guess. This is kind of funny. So you just float over it. But Beowulf is gonna, if any Beowulf is watching that, they're just gonna heavenly the crap out of you. You should not get away with that. But that's really funny to do once in a while. Especially if the Big Band, if that damage will kill Big Band. Let's see how much damage that is. What the hell? Whoa! Ah, jeez. Oh, I'm dropping out actually. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can do something with this. Yo, that almost. I can make something of this. Let me see. Ah. Now I am really wanting to make this happen. I want him to float over me. Okay. Okay. What the? That's a thing? So you can't actually cross over with that. What the hell? Don't do this. Do not do this. Nobody should try this in tournament. This is not worth it. But it's funny. Oh. Yo! What the heck? Yo! Yo! clip this. This is not very educational. Do not try this. But you're right, I will do this in tournament. If I was playing this, I would hella try that. But yeah. Parasol has several things she can do that isn't memes. She can actually just set out tears because not much is actually protecting you. How much is this? Is 40. How many frames of animation is this? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 40 frames of animation is this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 33. 33 and 40, the difference isn't too big, but this, in a situation where this might get punched, there are chances where this might not, because 7 frames less reaction. Plus, this is not a thing I'm looking to react to as much, whereas this animation, I'm like super duper ready. I'm just ready to punch this girl in the mouth if she tries to shoot me. Do not bring your guns to a fist fight, is what I'm trying to say here. But we can't set our tiers. Tier setting out is again really good because now you've done that. Now that there's a tier right behind me, so I don't want to move behind. I messed that up. That's another thing you can try. It's not very good. That'll probably get you punched. But depending on the scenario, sometimes getting punched isn't too bad because you might not get full combo off it. Plus, it like locks up my assist. Again, if there's damage on the table that he can take, you should sometimes take it, sometimes not take it. And then now there's a tier right there. Now there's a tier right in front of me, so now I don't want to move forward. Like stuff like that. The thing about punishing assists in this instance is that you have to mix it up. Like sometimes you just have to not punish it. Like just jab it and make it go away, which is fine. Sometimes you gotta pull out the big guns. Sometimes you gotta pull out the big guns. Like one of those. That almost worked. Do not recommend. Do not recommend. That's really funny. But yeah. So Parasol can do sort of the same things. She has better disjoint and especially super jump. Light punch is really good against Beowulf. Let me even try against neutral jump because I think it's really good against neutral jump as well. Like that. Etc. etc. Parasol can do stuff like that. You have to call it out a little bit, but etc. You can do stuff like that. Which is what I'm trying to say here. I'm not going to show you too much other. So super jump, the thing with super jump light punch though is that it is committal and that the Beowulf just does nothing, because you can't really do it after the move is out. So if you commit to stuff like that, then that means the Beowulf can just wait and anti-air you. What is the one thing I wanted to say with that? So, like, mixing up whether you sometimes go for the air-to-air. But the thing is that it also, because Beowulf is such a big target when he jumps, this will also just deal with him just jumping forward and not doing anything. It makes him block one of these, which is really annoying. Because blocking his Beowulf is really dumb and stupid. And I don't want to block anything in my life ever again. Can this work? Similar thing with air throw. Like if the air normal doesn't come out in time, then it's not gonna win in the good range. So also just back off and call an assist sometimes. Parasol's not very. Your team is not very good with doing that with Parasol, but it's really good at doing that with Filia. There's a bunch of assists that are really, really good at doing that as well. Beat Extend is sadly not one of them if you are good at spacing the normal. Beat Extend actually just gets stuffed, which is really cool if you're doing it at the good range. So that's, yeah, I'd actually anti-airs. I don't know how you would confirm off that. That doesn't work. I guess you have to do that. You'd have to do stuff like that, but if you have one bar, then that's fine. You get a full combo on Beowulf, and Beowulf is the whole set play. Parasol is an amazing set play on Beowulf, so there's that as well. And now I'm starting to run out of ideas. One thing that nobody punishes, I don't know why, is, let me show one of these. No, one of those. One of these. This is ridiculously easy to punish, and I am so tired of nobody punishing it. Ever. Because... oh, let me set him to block first. Alright. That was a punish. Actually... that was a punish. That was a punish. I am so tired of people not punishing that move as it happens. It is whack. Of course, if I have 2 bars, then it's a bit of a gamble. But, like, please, brothers, please punish this move. Don't let a young, broke-ass boy like me get away with doing anything stupid like that. Please, I am begging you, do not do this. Do not try to do anything like that. Filia is ridiculously easy to just do it with. You can just mash any heavy punch, it works. If you're committed to something, you can just cancel Fenrir Super. If you have a DHC behind it that you can combo off with it, then it's really good. I can't help you with this. Well, Ed, you're not going to punch it anyway, alright? Because to punish it, you need to play Skullgirls, and you're not going to do that, which is a smart choice. You shouldn't. I know, if I do. Alright, now I get you, dude. But yeah, people do not punish this move. I get away with it in tournament. Like, the only person who punishes that is a person who don't want to play, and that's a pretty strong reason why. That I just don't want to play him because he'll punish it every time. And if everybody punishes this every time, then it's really, really keeps me on my toes and makes me do extra reversals that are actually punishable. And not some of this broke ass shit. But yeah. So that's about it. I don't have much else to say. This has gone on for far too long. This is like more of a general anti-Beowulf thing rather than Beowulf versus Filia tier shot specifically. So yeah, I'll stop the stream here and I'll put this on YouTube.